Colin Powell once said, "There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." And we couldn't agree more. This is Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. We'll talk to people from all walks of life and pick their brains about their journey, the process, and the ups and downs to becoming successful. You want inspiration and motivation? It all starts here. This is the Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. And now your host, Kyle Sullivan.
What's going on, champions? Welcome to another episode of Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Our guest today is a marketing expert, and I am so excited to have her on. Hellen Nitschke was born and raised in Brazil, moved to the USA about 14 years ago, didn't know any English at all, and set a goal to be approved into fashion school in year one. Fast forward a little bit, was able to achieve this goal, pursuing fashion, being able to work for such companies as Adidas, Billabong, Nordstrom, Target, and many others. I'd like to say she successfully achieved that goal. Many of the designs are sold all over the country, still being sold today, even after she left a corporate job to pursue passion and creating her own swimwear line. In all of this, she was faced with creating a purpose-based brand, faced with a lot of insecurity and lacked many skills, even marketing, which we know is huge in business. The list could go on, but Hellen, I am excited to dive into your story and dive into your journey, and I'm grateful that you're on Unleash the Champ today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Kyle. So good.
Absolutely.
You just better than me.
Well, you just take me along wherever you go, and I'll introduce you. All right.
Good.
Well, man, Hellen and I met just a couple weeks ago at the time of this recording, and we met in a competition that was super fun. And you just meet people that you just instantly homie up with, and Hellen and her business partner were those people for me. But Hellen, before we jump into all the things you've done, which is numerous, the brands you've worked for, the companies that you've been a part of, and your journey, but who are you beyond the bio? Who are you behind what all that you do professionally?
It's so funny. This question, Kyle, is even a question that I faced myself when I was leaving the corporate. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about helping corporate women, because I couldn't answer the question. My value and everything I did was so connected to what I did and done that someone asked me, like, who is Hellen? And I was, Hellen is a fashion designer. And they said, that's what you did. Oh, Hellen is a mother. Yeah, that's what you do. Like, and then I couldn't find anything that I am. And then it was like, what? People was like, what happened to me? But today I can say Hellen is a trooper. Like a tomboy by nature, free spirit kind of girl that loves the outdoors and a lot of like extreme sports. So if I can be free, like in the wild, like that would be perfect for me. I love surfing. I love snowboarding, as I was doing this last week, but super soft heart. And like I can be somebody that met me at kind of little tough, and I'm Brazilian, as you can hear my accent. Can be feisty, but a huge heart and very soft, actually, and very passionate about people. So I like to fight for me, but not just for me. Every time that I fight for something is like more of a cause, because if I can learn, if I can do it, I know I can teach you and I can teach and help more people. So I'm very passionate about people. I truly believe in people, even though it breaks my heart sometimes. I'm not going to lie, but I do truly. Hellen is a passionate for people, and will continue to do so.
Yeah, I love that. And I also, man, I get that so much, as you believe so much for and in people. And that does open ourselves up to get hurt. And so I get that. And I agree with everything you said, man. Huge heart, man. You're a trooper. You've gone through so much. You've overcome a lot. What was it like coming, 14 years ago, it's not very long, and being born and raised in Brazil and then coming over, what was that like, and what prompted that? Let's talk about that and then kind of move into your journey.
For me, it was a bittersweet mix, because you're excited for the new. Like for me, I need the new all the time. I think I am a very creative person too. So I need challenge. So if my lifestyle, anything that I start like getting it, start getting a little bit borderline boring to me. So I kind of like to always keep something excited and a little bit harder. So that was a plus because really makes like what is hard a little bit easier, but doesn't mean what's easy. But being a tough girl and very independent, one of the things for me that was extremely hard was the language because without a language, you literally, I like Hikaya, not gonna lie, has days that I cry. I cry so bad because it felt so dumb. I felt stupid. Like, really, that's exactly how it felt because I couldn't communicate and everything that I knew almost like went through the drain. And I saw people making fun of me. And I saw people like despising me or kind of like it, like even one of my first jobs once I got in the fashion industry. So I got here. My husband is Brazilian too, but he's born and raised in Brazil, but his mother is American. So he always had the English. So he was always back and forth. So for him, was natural. So when I told him, I, s- I knew how to say hello, Kyle, pretty much. Hello was like I, hello, I. So I did things like very interesting things. Like, for example, after a year dedicating myself with just learning English. So I got to the ESL class and they gave me two classes a week because it was so bad. I was so terrible that they say like, no, that's the only thing you can handle. And I was the worst student that they ever had in the sense that I was so annoying. I would ask every day for more classes that they had to give me. Let's say like they say, normally we have to ask people to not miss the class. And we never had anybody like you. I was like, I went every day and I couldn't communicate. So what I did, I was drawing. I used to draw. I need more class. And I used to draw. I have 1 year to learn. And they like, I don't get it. And then I draw everything and I'm making like notes and I come in here and there. And then they got to a point, they say, okay, has that office on the back is a Rosetta Stone computer. You can stay there all day. That's what we can do for you. So when I did, I stayed there like for 1 day, all day long. And I advanced so much that I came back and I couldn't formulate more phrases now. So now I came back with more phrases say, I need to go to that teacher. I like that teacher. I watch her class. I want to be there. No, she's intermediate. You can't do it. I say, I can't. So I started asking. They actually had to put me 2 classes at the same time. So I proved them a point that I could. They're like, oh my gosh, this girl with a pain. But I was so determined because I was like, I'm never, ever going to feel this way again. But it's still after a year fighting. Even my husband said, like, you're not going to be able to go to in fashion school. They're not going to, you have to go through interview. You're not going to make it. I was like, oh, you watch me. So I did. And even after that, Kyle, being one of my first internships was I sat Fifth Avenue. And then after they invited me to be part of Forever 21 as visual merchandiser. But the girl that was my manager would treat me so bad because she's like, I can't even understand like what you're saying. And she's like, you sound so retarded. So like in my face, things like this. But that just encouraged me to really keep going and keep strong. And for many years, I was I kind of ashamed of my accent, but now I'm very proud. And this journey was not just and of course, I don't have family here or nobody like this detachment. So that days was okay, but it had days that it was very, very tough. But that help us understand that when we want something, like he helped me understand so much like that. If I want something, I really have to focus and really don't let the outside deter who I am or what I can do it.
There's so much that's rich in that. Uh, First, what do you think it was that made you be so aggressive in like, I got to get this down. I got to learn this language because I would venture to say there's a high percentage of Americans that if placed in another country, they would not have the resiliency that you showed and the grit to learn the culture and the language. What do you think about you produced that in you? Because that's not, I wouldn't assume that's normal.
Not in 1 year. It was very normal. And I have a lot of Brazilians here. They still like being here for 15 years, like 20 or even more, and still pretty much speaking Portuguese. For me, it was like this. What I understood, God gave me a huge opportunity. And I believe the opportunity is like you have two choices of opportunity. You can let it pass by or you grab it with all your strength. And for me, I'm grabbing it. And if I am here, can I get comfortable? And one of the things I had to do, Kyle, if I will hear Brazilians around me, I will run the opposite direction. Because I was missing my family. I was missing everybody. And you know me, you met me. I don't have a hard time making friends. So it's like if I met some Brazilians, I'll make friends. And I can allow me to hear any Portuguese for a year. But it was the goal that I knew God gave me such a great opportunity. I would be able to. I was in fashion industry in Brazil already, but I was determined to really be in companies. I want to be here, learn the language, not just for conversations, but the technical terms and everything that I want to learn. And I want to be immersed in the culture. I was like, if God brought me all the way here, I'm sure it's not just to be around Brazilians, but to really like understand, grow so much and bring back to my country. And now I even like last year, I start like an English class and I start for free just to help for Brazilians. I put in my heart and I just did like a giving back. And that even though when they got put in my heart, I was like, oh, no, I have an accent. I'm not an English teacher. And the thing that came like a lot of people would be happy to speak the way you speak and they may never going to have this opportunity. So the entire year, last year, I have a pretty good chunk of people that walk with me all year long. They actually pay for a program that I just launched. I launched the program and said, like, nobody going to buy. I can get them. I can be free of it. No, they walk with me the entire year. And it was so amazing that I always say that everything that is hard in your life right now is exactly what God wants to use to bless you and bless through you. And one of them was so sweet because the guy speaks very good English already. And he said, every week, my favorite day of the week is Thursday night for our English class. And I was like, what? So I was able to use, worship songs to really bring people that are not even like connect with Christ or even those we stay connected. That at the end of each class, I will do a prayer, teach them how to pray in English. So I think that drive of loving people and want them to succeed. And I understand, like you said, it is not for everybody. May not everybody would have the strength or resilience, like you said, but because I do the way I understand, like I will be the pathfinder and I will bring you with me as we go.
I love that. And again, that exudes from you. Just somebody that's a hustler that, man, you knew, okay, if I'm going to accomplish my goals, I need to get this down. And I also know that if I ever get on a global Pictionary tour, if competitive Pictionary is a thing, I'm taking you with me because you had to figure out how to draw pictures. And that's freaking amazing. A whatever it takes mentality.
And I had to do this in Germany. That's why I was like well trained.
Oh my gosh. So let's shift now to, man, what are you doing now? The Get Launched Academy. Talk about that journey, how it got started, how, maybe how you were in the beginning and the growth you're seeing now, you as a person and with y'all's business.
Okay. So Get Launched is another journey. One of the things that I learned so much about the journey as entrepreneur is really let me pivot sometimes. Like sometimes we have our plans, we do the things, and that's what we're going to do. For me was like, you always knew was fashion. So I love fashion. I always be very passionate about it. So when I launched my swimwear line, I just find out like I suck in marketing. Then I hate it. True. Like, let's put it this way. I hate not gonna do it. That's it. And then someone asked me, like, but how are you gonna succeed in that brand? I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't care. But then I like I will figure it out. But then the more I think about it, I was like, I gotta learn this thing. So, and I everything marketing wasn't appealing to me because it was a lot of like salesy or almost like throwing in your face and like, buy for me, buy for me. And I'm like, "Ugh." So I found out challenge. So through Pedro Adeo, and that challenge was a movement and was about creating community and it's about create a family with you and educating. So that for me was amazing because even based on what I share with you so far, you can see a lot of teaching. So I normally like I bring something, I teach something, and I love that exchange. So challenge is educational marketing. And that I fall in love with it. I was like, okay, that I can do it. So I started building my challenge. So I went to the Pedro Adeo community and it was for a year, a whole program for a year. And there I met Danielle Mauer, which today is my business partner, and that you also met. We started noticing that we were advancing so much and so fast, but a lot of people there, they're doing the same program, the same thing. They were stuck in the same spot, exactly the same place. And we saw a lot of women from corporate. And most of the time we realized that they didn't have the time or effort or even the free mind to actually really absorbing what the program was teaching. Because as a corporate background in Danielle too, we knew like your head sometimes is so full of everything that your responsibility that you can't even absorb one more thing. So then being said, like we in a group of 500, Kyle, only 6 of us, and Danielle and I, we were 2 of them, were able to get the certification that was the program was about, which was able to prove you can do 100K using the challenge framework. And that was shocking to us. When we saw that, it was like, wait a moment. Has more people that need our help that we even understand. People don't need to learn just one more thing. They need to know how to implement what they learn. And that's when they get lost. So that's how Get Launch was born. And Get Launch was born to really like create a step-by-step cohesive plan that we pretty much hold you by the hand. And we've been focusing in corporate women, especially like the corporation that she faced in a time now that, hey, I gave my life for this company. I built teams, I built programs, I did everything for everybody, but what have I done for me? And then they now want to create something impactful. So that's how Get Launch was born. And that's where being passionate and doing like now every day.
I love that, Helen. And until recently, you were really comfortable being in the background. But now there's a shift happening. Talk about that shift.
You got me. Oh man, that was funny. I'm still very comfortable being in the background. If I can hide, I good. Yeah, and that was always like Danielle was more used to the cameras and things, and I was like, let's do it. And now, yes, it should be on stage, it should do everything. And I didn't realize how much I was hiding behind her. And then when I was going to support her in one of the competitions, like 2 or 3 months ago, not even, I was in the breakout room just waiting for her to come present her speech. And I was there just to vote for her. And then they asked, like, does anybody want to try? And I was there. I was like, well, might as well. I'm here. And I ended up winning that competition online. And Danielle did it. And I was like so shocked. I was like, what happened here? So, but then what inspired me the most is like everybody had to share their stories in 60 seconds. And I learned so much that day. I was able to pivot to get some information that they gave me. And I pivot really quick and ended up winning. But then that day I realized it's not because of win, but that thing shaped me to, Daniel always would look at me, why I have to be on stage, not you, Helen. And that was almost like, well, your story matters, but mine doesn't. But then I realized that every single story matters, because what Danielle went through can matter for some people. But maybe what I went through, even the story that I shared today about the English, like maybe somebody is trying to build a business or even a marriage or anything that is hard. But maybe if you focus and give it a year. And why do I say a year? Because in a year, Kyle, so much can happen. In a year, good things and bad things happen. Like it's easy to sustain anything for a month, but for a year, you have to go through the good and bad. And then at the end, you can realize, like, is this for me or not? And maybe my story can be simple to me today, but can be exactly what someone needs. And being those rooms, listening this story, I can see that is healing. It's healing, and the give, like what I love the most is like give all of us permission to fail, permission to try, but permission to succeed, and permission to just be. And that was a huge shift for me, which I'm super excited now. I'm actually booking a lot of stages and like going for like a crazy, because I think I didn't understand before, but now I got it.
Yeah, you got it. And as Usher says, you got it bad. And the way you communicate, the way you engage with people, the inviting tone that you have, like that's your superpower. That's how you're able to and your story to match. Like that needs to be in people's ears on stages like this, stages physically. And I'm pumped that you're doing it. I'm pumped that it's happening. And so in a world that everybody's trying to get people into a group, into a program, into an offer, into a thing, into a whatever, how are y'all able to, I mean, just in how many people tried to be certified in this method, y'all were selected as a few that got to, how do people stand out? And, talk about it in a group model for our industry, but also how can a different industry use what y'all learned to benefit and create community?
Yes, I love that, Kyle. Thank you. Thank you for this question, because, like you said, in other industries too, and that's something I've been fighting in that want to explain more to people. Like I said, what I love about challenge is the creating community. And honestly, deep down, we all want to be seen, heard, and loved. All of us. Just think about a little kid. Like they do they want the gift? Yeah, they do. But they will get the gift if they are seen, if they are loved, if they are heard. That's what the gift comes after all those three things. So I think what makes the difference, like we really like put it for the challenge, the opportunity to put people in front of you and listen. Can challenge be done in a way that you just do on talking? Yes, absolutely. But then you're missing a point. Sometimes it's just like as simple as one plus one is two. It's just whatever you're trying to create or anything, put people in front of you and ask questions. How can I serve you? What is your pain? What is you going through? Like that can be helpful. So, and that's when you hear is a huge power. When help us stand out is listen. And it's different than everybody thinks is dance on TikTok or something like me you see, but on it game you even see like our Instagram or those type of things, people say like, oh, they're probably not very successful. We didn't try to build Instagram. We didn't try to be famous. We didn't try to do anything. And we grew so fast and so much because we just did this simple thing that any human needs. We just stop and we listen. And that was a huge difference. And that's for any industry, because even if you are in medical field, I don't know, if you try to build something, like you can have a huge opportunity to create a challenge, an event that you can present the opportunity to people, but actually give them the chance to talk to you back and see if that is a good fit for them or not. And that when you adjust and pivot and make something special.
I love that. And the focus on community, the focus on being able to be seen, be heard, be valued, be respected. That is what gets community launched. And that's what y'all do so very well. Where do you see where do you see online marketing going in the next, 6 to 12 months, 18 months? What's on the horizon in a world where it's getting more saturated by the day, it seems like?
Right. Well, that is a tough question. But I believe that will be more of a community base and things that will give the opportunity to the a client itself, like kind of determine what they need and they want. So I feel like more and more the people that are just trying to sell it, they will be left behind. More and more the companies and things that will listen to the customer and the clients and really put their needs first. I think that's what's going to succeed because people are so tired of like posers. At least I am. People are tired of promises that is just like it feels like everybody that can promise that you can make 1 million. And then everybody's getting hurt because to make 1 million, you have to be very committed. It is possible. Absolutely. It is impossible. No, no, it's not impossible. But the thing is, if you're not very committed, I can't promise you, Kyle, that I'm going to teach something you're going to make 1 million. If you like, you just want a magic pill and let's go to sleep, like it, and ain't going to happen. So people are getting tired of this. They start to realize that those magic pills are not very magical. So, and I think those will fade away. And I hope that will fade away. So the real community and real like connections will actually be the power of a good marketing.
Yes and amen. Yes and amen. It's the power of relationship. It's the power of connection. It's, I got a mentor that says no one wants to do business with Best Buy. They want to do business with Carl, who works in the TV department of Best Buy, that high-fived their kid as they walked in. And so if you're in a brick and mortar, if you're online, don't just spam, people's things. Like, hey, buy my stuff, whatever. Be like, hey, that looked like a really cool trip you went on. Humanize connection, which seems like a double negative. Like it seems like a freaking oxymoron. But in a world where everybody's trying to sell something, when you connect, and it's the old Jim Rohn thing, you help enough people get what they want, you will always get what you want. And so I love the alignment that we have. I love the synergy. I think it was divine that we got linked up in Miami, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for our friendship, and I'm grateful for where it's going, and I'm grateful for the relationship that we have. So where can folks find you online? Where can folks find you in the interwebs as they build a connection with you?
Okay. We just started now on our Instagram. So go follow. So we're going to be building a lot of tips. And it's get_launch_agency. So on Instagram. And our website is www.getlaunchagency.com/academy. So you can hear more about the academy. And Get Launch is no ED for that one. It's www.getlaunchagency.com/academy. Did I say
Perfect?
Correct?
That's right. Yeah, we'll link all that in the show notes, make it super easy for people to find you. Hellen, this has been as great as I expected it to be, and then some. But before we let you go, we got one more question for you. At Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast, we want to know, what does it mean to be a champion to you?
Woo! Okay. What means to be a champion to me? I think for me is like the definition of being courageous. One of the things in my speech is like you give yourself permission to invest in yourself, but invest in yourself takes courage. But courage to me is not when you don't have fear or when you're certain what's going to happen. Courage is like, do it anyways. It's almost like applying Nike, just do it. Just do it. If you have a second of belief in you, just do that second and go for it. Don't wait to have an hour of belief or a year of belief. Just have a second. Like you act on it like now and be courageous. And courageous once again, I can't stress enough that courageous is not a person that don't have fear. It's a person that do with fear and do it anyways.
That's right. Have courage today to unleash the champ. Hellen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Kyle, for having me. Bye, guys. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.
You've been listening to the Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Our passion is to talk to successful people and hear all about their journey and what it took to get there. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit up the website at unleashthechamp.com. Find us on Instagram at Kyle J. Sullivan and hit up that Facebook page at Unleash the Champ. Remember, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving.